friends, welcome to Chasing K-Dramas, the podcast that dissects popular Korean dramas episode by episode. We dive into the characters, themes, and everything in between. I am Dulcé Sloan, and I'm here with my co-host,
Chrissy, Choi.
So, how you been, girl? How you been?
I've been great. I had food, so I feel a lot better right now. We had a banh mi sandwiches.
You had banh mi.
You had
I had a
rice
bull
plate.
noodle bowl because I prefer a bull noodle bowl because that's my summertime swag.
So good.
That's so good.
I'm gonna get that next time. So in today's drama chase,
What are we doing?
we're talking about episode 4.
Cuatro.
Episode 4 of Marry My Husband.
Marry my husband.
And it is titled Jihyuk's Secret. So he has a secret.
Is it like a list of secret?
It's a pretty big secret.
I keep making Drag Race references that you don't catch, and it makes me
I'm
weird.
not a Drag Race person. Isn't that kind of weird? I'm not really like, I've watched it, but I'm not like hardcore because you would think I'd be really into it, and I would be into it. I just never really got into it.
I started watching season 1 when it was on Logo. Like
Yeah.
it was in the back
So
of
like
cable.
OG. Yeah.
I mean the back of cable.
Yeah.
You had to have every single. We had the Africa channel.
So I've watched seasons here and there. Like I know like the basic stuff. Like I know like, you know, how the show is structured. I understand that. Yeah, so he has a secret. This episode's an hour long.
An hour long. Who knew that a Korean drama
Could just be an hour long.
Could just be an hour
They used to
long.
be an hour long, but then everyone's going crazy. But so these are the key moments, okay? So Jiwon's glow up continues. So she has a glow up on the outside. And I
Outside.
also think she has a glow up on the inside too.
And that's the glow up you need, baby girl, is the glow up on the inside, on the interior.
That's what matters. And then we discover that Eunho, her first love from high school, there was a confession letter. He wrote her a confession letter, and then we learn about that. And then the villains are trash ass husband Minhwan
Always.
and hussy best friend Soomin. They're floundering a bit. They don't know what to do with this new and improved Jiwon. They're
because
floundering. They're just like, pay attention to me, you know?
because it's like if you are an abuser, right? And your victim, they're
Like, they don't give a shit.
they're not. It's like sometimes I remember on the bus seeing a kid try to bully another kid, and the other kid was like,
No, I'm good.
I'm all right. He's like, no. He was like,
Sure.
he's like, I'll punch you. He's like, all right. I'll hit you. He's like, okay. And then that dude just went and sat down. It's like,
know.
oh, it's
so anticlimactic.
and I was like, huh. So you could just be like, I got a test, bro. You really can't. It is weird because it's like when you think about, like I started watching Itaewon Class,
Yes.
and it made me so sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the dad was so good.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, he has to die.
Yeah.
The mom's already gone. The dad is so good. The dad lost his job for him.
It's true. When the one parent is too nice,
Too nice.
you know they're about to croak.
I started watching and I started a countdown in my head. I'm like, I was like, the dad can't make it to episode 3, dude. Also, we're in the middle of a flashback. It can't last that long. And then the crazy dude in the kind of traditional outfit.
That was a pretty brutal scene, right? I remember crying. I cried a lot in that drama.
Yeah, I cried a little bit too.
The daddy dying, like that was a big.
Oh, and the kid, I was like, when the dad died, I immediately knew it was the high school bully that hit him. And it was just like, oh, you already had to apologize. He's like, oh, your son won't bow to my son. I was like,
Damn, that
Bro,
drama was so good.
That guy was good. And I can't remember what other show I saw him on. The dad of the bully kid.
Oh, the evil guy, the bad guy. Oh yeah, he bad.
That man can act. Oh, whenever I've stopped the chicken coop scene. So I think that's like the second episode. I was like, we're in this chicken coop.
God, it's been so long. I need to rewatch that.
It fucked me up. But anyway, so we're in the opening scene.
Okay, so but then the last thing we learned the truth about Jihyuk. Like a major, like it's pretty big, and to have something to come out in episode 4, pretty quick.
I think that's why people. Who wrote this? Are we going to do something about the author?
Yeah, that's gonna come later.
I mean,
so
not the
there's
author,
technically So
Did I say author?
yeah, so the
writer.
There's two writers. So the original writer, she's a romance novelist, and then it became a webtoon.
Okay.
And then you have the screenwriter for the show. But so
This
in
was
the
a
webtoon,
yes,
this is different. Jihyuk apparently doesn't. You don't find out about Jihyuk much later. So in an interview that I read with this about from the screenwriter, she was saying that they had to move that up because of pacing. So I think this drama in general, pacing is on fucking point.
Let me tell you something. This is a masterclass.
Yeah.
I was watching with my mom, and she was like, "Wait a minute, what's happening?" And so I was like, "We're gonna pause." She's like, "Now don't tell me the end of it." But when you start finding information about him, one, again, usually Korean dramas make you wait so long.
It's on the end.
Like the fact that he showed up to that reunion. Also, the reunion wasn't 2 episodes long. The fact that he showed up, I was like, what's he doing there?
I know. It's pacing's great. They really know how to push and pull, meaning like pull you in, pull you out. Like again, the storytelling is masterful. It just yanks you, like it pulls at your heartstrings, your emotions. It just knows what it's doing. Because now that you know, we could talk about it a little bit later at the end. You're curious. You're like, oh, I have to learn more. Oh, Jihyuk. Oh, what's gonna happen? Like it's just so many things are happening at once. I understand why people are addicted to this, but
so
opening scene. Oh yes. So
we was grabbing wrists.
Grabbing the wrist. He declared his love for her. Well, he declared his previous love, her past love for her. Everyone's clapping. You have the jealous man in the corner.
One-sided love.
One-sided love. His crush.
Which is
can
the
you imagine?
saddest
You're watching
love.
your crush see her first love, and the first love is confessing his love for her. Exciting stuff. Riveting things.
But he's the one that set this up.
He did. But this is where Jihyuk's plan kind of not goes awry, but this is when it kind of changes, right? Because the reason why, well, we can't really talk about it yet because we don't know the full truth. But anyways, we'll pause. But
I think at the end of this is what we need to do. We need to go
back to
the opening. When we get to the end of this, we need to go back to the opening scene.
Okay. So basically, he's watching, peering in, and then Jiwon gets a call. So Jihyuk calls. Jihyuk's like, I gotta put a stop to this.
I have to stop. This love might be blooming again.
Nope.
And I gotta shut the city down.
So he's like, hello, Jiwon Shi. He doesn't call her Jiwon Shi. He goes, Kangderi. I need you. This is Saturday night or Sunday night at like 9 p.m.
Is it really that late?
I think it's late.
But sometimes on TV, it's like, what time is it?
I think it's like 8 p.m.
You think it's like 8?
7, 8 p.m.
7 sounds right.
Okay, 7 p.m. But
because
listen,
he still gotta go have the other meeting.
Well, this is why I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. But he calls her and he's like, hey, I need you to come to the to a hotel because there's a marketing strategy meeting that's happening. You're just like, okay, on a Sunday night, sure. So she rushes over.
I can't say, in Korea, is it a tradition to keep the Sabbath and keep it holy? Or is every day a work day?
I believe you're supposed to technically rest on Sunday. So this is why it's kind of weird. Like people work a lot and I'm sure people work on Sundays, but yes.
Because even in America, like stores like open late, close early.
No, Korea's always open.
I can tell you, I was in Mexico and that mall was open late as hell.
Well, those blue laws in the South. The blue laws in the South where everything in South Carolina on Sundays, everything closes at 6. It opens at 1 and it closes at 6.
Well,
they kind of changed it nowadays, but that really threw me off.
Oh, I remember like there was a lady in the apartments we lived in where I think she paid her rent selling beer on Sundays. Truly.
Because So,
work meeting.
Well, before that, Eunho sees Jihyuk watching him from the corner. So if I'm Eunho, I'd be like, what the f*** is this man?
I already don't know you. You told me to come to the reunion. Why are you standing outside? Who are you?
Spying? Okay, so they go to the hotel. So U and K, they're getting ready for some marketing strategy meeting, right? I think they're planning for the meeting for the next day, but he calls in Jiwon because he wants Jiwon to back him up. So his whole goal is he wants the company to move more towards online marketing. Okay, that's the new thing. He wants to push the direction, but the higher ups,
2013.
the higher ups are like, they're a little hesitant about it. So he tells Jiwon, I just need you to, you're smart. I need you to just back me up. So they're in the room, and then you meet this executive. His nickname is Dictator Director. And she's like, oh, I remember. So flash forward in 2023, he got caught for berating a flight attendant,
Tapping them in their head.
He physically hits people, and he went viral for that, and he gets fired. So she's like, oh my God, it's Dictator Director. Oh, he's here. And he's talking to Jihyuk and two other employees. He is condescending. He's sexist. He's all the things. He's hitting his employees in the head. He loves hitting people in the head.
Male and female.
He perks up when he sees Jiwon. He's like, oh, good looking woman. Nice. This, like, I like working with hot women, blah, 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 blah. He's like being so disrespectful to her.
Truly.
Right? And then at one point, she speaks up and he tells her, I need you to sit there like a flower. You should just be pretty. Shut your mouth.
Why are you talking? You're just here to be pretty. And then Jihyuk defends her. And he was like, hey, she's a competent part of my group. She is very intelligent. I brought her because she is smart. And I trust her instincts.
Yes.
Because she's trying to explain the algorithm strategy of a trending app. And he just gets upset because he doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, he doesn't know because it's like a new ad. He's being disrespectful. Now we go back to the restaurant. So the bullies, Yeji and her cronies, they confront Soomin.
Because her lies are falling through her fingers like sand.
This part was crazy.
Unraveling.
So this was my what the whatever, what girl what moment.
Oh, this is your girl what moment.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is her reaction to everything.
Oh,
so basically, I mean, obviously, could you imagine being the bully, the main girl, Yeji? Or the girls, for how many years? For 10 years, they tormented this poor girl.
They also poured milk on her.
They were mean to her.
They were awful to her.
All based on lies. Every single thing that this person has ever told them was a fucking lie. And she got caught red-handed.
And then they also have to sit with the fact that they were terrorizing a person based off of this woman's lies.
And then she's like, I never told you guys to bully her. Why are you screaming? What are you doing? And then she starts freaking out. This is my part. She's like, she bangs her fist on the table. She's like, 왜? What did you say? She goes, 왜 나한테 지랄이야? She's screaming, being like, why are you being fucking, why are you freaking out on me, bitches? And it's a very intense, 지랄 is a kind of intense word. And it's nuts how she loses control. So they call her a crazy bitch. They're like, you're a fucking 미친년 is basically what they say. You're a 미친년, crazy bitch in Korean. You're acting like a 미친년, right? Oh, she storms off to the bathroom. And this scene, she's literally shaking. She's shaking. She's biting her nails.
I don't know if they add a sound effect for her biting her nails. But the way that I was like, she's going to have no fingers by the time she's done.
Losing it. And then she's like, it's not my fault. She's like, it's not my fault that they bullied her. Those losers. Why are they blaming me? She's completely she's crazy. She feels no remorse. She feels zero guilt. All she's thinking about is how she feels so wronged that the truth came out. This is a psychotic character. I was so annoyed.
I'm always amazed by people where it's... nothing is their fault. I'm always confused. I'm always this person that's always the victim. Always things are always happening to them. And it's interesting for me because I'm always someone that takes responsibility. So it's just things aren't going the way that I want, so I'm failing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's a normal response. Usually people will be like, oh,
I'm the one doing. I'm not
what
doing.
What can I do to fix this, or what did I do wrong? Let me think about what can I do better next time?
All of her actions as crazy as they are, we've all dealt with people who was this person. We've all dealt with the person where anything that the world owes them everything because they're not happy.
You made me do this.
You made me do this to you. Or you made me do this to you is always crazy. Or it's, I'm doing these things because the world's not fair. I'm doing these things where like it's not fair that these things happen to me. So since bad things happen to me, I can do bad things to other people.
Yeah.
And like that is where it's like, oh.
왜 나한테 지랄이야? When she that part, that I just it's crazy. 왜 나한테 anyways.
It's all nuts, but yeah.
And then she's like, why did Eunho have to show up at this moment? And it's just like, what?
It's how dare to be so. First of all, if the only thing to unravel your plan is the truth, your plan's already fucking flawed.
Her feeling so wronged. Like I just, yeah. So then she goes back outside and everyone left. And she's like shocked that they left. And you're just like, what did you expect? You lied to them for like 10 years. Of course they're gone. Of course you have no one on your side. What are you going to do now?
But the way that she calls Jiwon, whenever she does Jiwon wrong, is the most confusing thing.
Yeah, because she needs to she's like, what? I have to fix this. Like, oh God, I need her on my side. What can I do? I need to have her under my in my little hands. I need to control her. It's nuts. Such a good actress, though, I have to say. That scene, I was just
she's an amazing actress.
She is her shaking, her nail, all of that. I was just like, damn, this girl is grade A psychopath, but my God.
She can get it back.
So, then, okay, so then Minhwan is coming back from the campgrounds. Okay?
Because he was not able to pick up any women because he was being a weirdo.
Then his friend is basically like, hey, kind of seems like Jiwon don't give a shit about you. She hasn't checked in at all. Blah, blah, blah. But he's like, what if she has someone else on the side? And he's like, what do you mean? So this gets Minhwan all insecure, okay? Again, these people, the villains are floundering. It's like they need to be in control. They lose control. They need Jiwon to like them. They need Jiwon to be there for them. They're so dependent on this character. Wild. So now he starts freaking out, right?
And don't forget the kopiko.
Oh yes, and then he's eating. But that was a lovely little.
That
was the most blatant. I love it. I love the blatant product placement.
When that glove box opened, and my mom doesn't know about the product placement, but I was just like, "This is goofy." I've always wanted to try that. It's just coffee candy.
It's a coffee candy.
Is it good?
It's very good. We have some.
Huh.
I should have brought them out because for the product placement, but
give me a tiny segment later. It's like,
yeah, no, take a handful. I have a whole bag. My dad gave me bags of it. My dad likes them.
Cause it's like, oh man, I'm so tired. Oh, try this.
Yeah.
But I do wish in America,
it's caffeinated. So it's a little booster.
America, we don't do these anymore.
No.
People don't we're so far removed from it. But the reason soap operas are called soap operas is because soap companies used to sponsor those shows.
Oh, hence. Soap opera.
Yeah.
An opera.
Right. So it was a show. Because originally it was the radio shows.
Yeah.
And then when it became TV, the soap companies were still involved. And eventually it just was all the advertisers. But we never stopped using the term.
Soaps. Okay.
Yeah, the soaps. I'm watching my soaps.
I'm watching my soaps.
Because I'm sure somebody as a kid has to go, what the does soap have to do with these old white people?
I have never questioned it. I just assumed it was a soap opera. So Jiwon and Jihyuk, they leave, and Jihyuk wants to give her a ride. He wants to take her to dinner, but she's like, So they go on a little joyride.
He
together.
was like, I should feed you because he can tell that when she left the Korean barbecue place in a white dress.
Or he's like, I think you're only 80 pounds or 80 kilograms. Oh, 80 pounds. I cannot
believe she lost 30 pounds.
It's really scary. It's too much. She looks so much better in her previous dramas. But anyways, she's still stunning. But I feel like she could have a little bit of bulgogi.
Girl.
So they're in the car and they're chatting. And this is why I love these two together. There's just something like they're flirty. She kind of teases him a bit. He's actually, interestingly enough, like he is so awkward around her. He's so earnest yet awkward. And she's like very sure of herself when she's around him. You know what I mean?
I used to, there's this guy I was talking to, and he told me one day that when he's with me, he stands up straighter.
Oh.
So it's interesting to see that, because like I realized like with him, like I would change as well. So it's almost like we both got like this little boost from just like being around each other.
Yeah.
So I understand that concept where some people you're just around them and you just like feel better about yourself.
Yeah, so that's why I like this character, because you can just kind of tell, like, every time she's with them, she learns something new about herself. But she's also, like, very, like, she tells him a lot of stuff. She's like, you know, like, in the past, like, I could not figure people out. You know, she couldn't recognize good or bad people, but now she's working on it. Going forward, she's like, she decided that she's not going to treat people who treat her poorly well. She's like, I'm just going to treat them like the way they treat me. There's no need for me to try with them. Yeah. And he's like, that's great. He's like, you should do that. So I really do like these like little moments that they have together. And then while they're chatting, Jesus Christ, the fucking psychopaths. Soomin calls her. She ignores it. Eunho texts her. And so she's like kind of like texting back.
And he was like, oh, who texted you?
And then she tells him, she's like, oh, it's actually this guy, my first love, my crush. You know, this guy, we reconnected. And she just kind of tells him. And of course, Jihyuk's just like,
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. And then he's so jealous. You can see it. And then he's just kind of like, well, you know. Seeing someone from your past might reignite old feelings, but it's dangerous. You should let go of your feelings. And she's just like, what? I have a boyfriend, remember? And he's like, oh, yes. Okay, good. Sure.
I don't know if I would never ask you this question because, you know, Mr. Thomas is sitting here. So I'm going to ask myself for this question.
You just ask it for me. It's fine.
I'm not causing no problems in a happy home. I'm trying to think, is there anyone from my past? No.
Anyone from your past that could reignite your feelings? No. I mean, at this point, I don't think there's no. I mean, you know, like. Thomas looks at me.
That's why I didn't ask you nothing.
He's like,
Mr. Thomas, you heard me.
It's a question for Thomas too.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas. Is there any hussy from your past? I don't saw. Thomas said, "Why you trying to f my home up?" No, I don't think there's anyone. Because if I think about like my first crush. There is one boy that I would want to. I don't know if he's dead or not.
You don't know if he's dead or not? Why the fuck would he be dead?
I don't know where he disappeared. Nobody knew where he went.
Oh, that's kind of sad and scary at the same time.
He didn't go to jail. That's all we know.
Okay, well, that's good. I'd rather he be in jail than he'd be dead.
I don't know. I'd rather somebody be in heaven than in jail.
Well, that's true.
See? But yeah, I was like, is there anybody that could be like reignite?
I think I think first loves, crushes, I think there's a time and place for that. You know what I mean? And I think this is interesting. Well, we don't know yet. I don't want to say that.
Well, anyway. But I think it's interesting that she says it's not those kind of feelings.
Yeah.
But if it's not the kind of feelings,
yeah,
what'd you give him the phone number for? Because she's very happy when he texts. Because remember, nothing ever happened because...
I think her point is right now, she just saw him again.
Yeah.
And she does indeed have a boyfriend.
She does... Who she's trying to get to marry her best friend so
but
he
she
doesn't
can't
murder her.
But also you can't be like, sure, yeah. You know what I mean? He's going to think, you know, she doesn't want Jihyuk to think she's a hussy. You know what I mean? So like,
But I also think she wants him to think that... Here's the thing. I think she says that so she can be like, I'm not interested in him because I do have a boyfriend. But basically, it's like, this dude has no chance because they are being flirty.
I don't know if she's that smart.
I don't think it's smart. I think baby girl's just keeping her options open because Minhwan's not a thing.
That's true. Okay. So then
Her phone rings again.
So they're driving home. So he's driving her to her house, right? Then
This is the second time he's taken her
so
home.
Minhwan's calling her. She doesn't pick up. But then Jihyuk sees Minhwan walking towards her apartment. So he's just like, tap, tap.
Ma'am.
And she freaks out and she lowers her seat and she's hiding. Okay.
But what I love is I remember the old, because you used to be able to just go
bam.
Wow, right.
This was like a slow, like me. Yeah.
Which is so much funnier.
It is. And then she freaks out. And then he's like, why are you hiding? And she's like, I'm not hiding. And then she gets up and then she sees fucking Soomin sitting on her stoop. And she's like,
and that's
back again.
Now she's got a blazer thrown over her head. Like she's already as far back as she could possibly be.
And then so Jihyuk like kind of laughs and he like drives off and they're like, okay, he's like, got it. So they like drive away.
Yes.
But then Minhwan and Soomin, they run into each other.
Because they're both at her house because they're both ridiculous.
And abandoned little puppies meeting together. And then of course Soomin is just like,
She's got to be crying. She's got to be crying. And what I love is that they're trying to get in her apartment. But she changed the code.
Yes.
And he said the code was the day they got together.
Yes.
And so changes it. And while Soomin is crying, she's showing off
her boobas. And then he's just like, he's literally swallowing. And then they have this like crazy, like he puts his shirt over her. And then they're playing this like sexy.
That's my girl wet moment.
The sexy guitar sound.
That's my girl wet moment. My mother was like, what is this sexy jazz? What's happening? That was my girl wet moment. I said, who went to this 1980s sexy catalog? I said, what in the murder she wrote? An episode of Hunter soundtrack is this? Because me and my mother were both like, this is hilarious. But it was like it was a very like a saxophone.
She don't even have boobs to even do that. So that she had to go like this.
Like that jacket was doing a lot. But that was my girl wet moment because it's like, but the song was my girl wet moment.
The song was so stupid.
Because it could have been, because I guess it couldn't have been a regular needle drop because it's not like a loving thing happening. It's like, and I was like, what is happening? So yeah, that music threw us all the way out. So that was my girl wet moment because it was completely out.
In the previous episode, there was that moan sound. Remember that little?
Yes.
You're like, oh my god. So then they go to a pojangmacha or whatever, like a bar, and they're eating tteokbokki and they're drinking again, right? And basically, Soomin's just like, I don't know why Jiwon's acting like this. She's acting distant, and he's thinking the same thing, right? You know, so because Jiwon is acting distant to both of them.
Well, because she needs to be distant because she needs them to start leaning on each other.
And they are.
And having these moments.
And they are. And then she's just like, I'm so glad that I bumped into you.
And if I didn't, it would have been so hard for me. And then she thanks him. And then they flirt. And then they're eating the tteokbokki. And then the chopsticks.
So they reach for the same tteokbokki and their chopsticks clink. And they have a moment, they both drop the chopstick. It's funny.
Is that, but it's like, is that a trope or is this just in this moment? Because I haven't seen this
I don't think
before.
that's a trope. Yeah. I think it's kind of funny that they reach for the same thing and they're like, you know.
Like you're both reaching for the same yogurt. But I knew what I kind of wanted to happen was the piggyback ride situation.
Oh, yeah. Like her getting really drunk and having to, you know.
And then them trying to figure out a will they want. They were just like, go home, go home, go home, go home. That's what I would have wanted. Just a little bit more heat.
Well, they get that heat later.
That's true.
So then we go back. Jiwon and Jihyuk. They decide to go on a rendezvous at the Han River.
This river be doing a lot of work.
Listen, the Han. We love the Han River. So they're drinking coffee. Okay, it's like 10 p.m. at this point, but sure, they're drinking coffee. Korean people love coffee. They drink coffee at all hours of the night.
I mean,
coffee shops are open like 20 fucking hours there.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
but she wouldn't go. So she still hasn't eaten.
No. Who needs to eat?
When you're with this man?
Oh, yes. They're chatting, and then she's like, I'm pretty sure you're probably curious about my relationship with my boyfriend, but I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, respect. You don't have to say anything.
Why did she think that, though?
Because she fucking like hid she's saying I have a boyfriend, and then she's like hiding from him. Like, it was kind of,
Yeah, I would have questions because he's like, he has a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But he's not trying to pry.
No. But then she also, again, another scene where like they're really opening up. And she tells him, she's like, I'm really working on myself. She's been living her life trying to please other people, but her goal now is to really like live for herself and figure out what she really enjoys and likes doing, which is great. So she's just like, I'm going to work on this meal kit. I want to learn self-defense and interior design.
Well, it makes sense she wants to learn self-defense because her man keeps trying to hit her.
I know. And then he like perks up and he's like, I can teach you self-defense.
And then he's learned every kind of martial arts
he's
ever been.
He's like, I'm athletic. Like, and then she's just like, and she starts like giggling.
I'm surprised he doesn't know that Brazilian jiu-jitsu. What is it?
I think he knows everything. And then he takes his glasses off, and then she's just like, you should wear contacts. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what? What do you mean? Oh, okay. And he's like shy, and he puts his glasses back on.
Can we talk about how beautiful and brown he is?
He's good looking. He is a handsome guy. But
he's a handsome man.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like, I'm to that age where I'm just like, I have no business looking at you.
Oh, he is just, but this drama though, I was like, oh, and it's been a while for me where I've had that when I'm watching dramas. I think we're getting older maybe, but like other than Park Seo-joon, and Pyeon Woo-seok, that Pyeon Woo-seok guy, we talked about him. Mm-hmm. He was a lovely runner. He's also very attractive. That kid, I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh. I was like, this is why everyone likes him now. And then this guy, Nainu, he's also my brother's age. He's 1994. He's like 31. He's a bebe. He's a bebe.
Anybody that's alive in some years where you like could do division, bro.
Like, yeah, he's my brother. He's too young. He's too young.
Anybody that like, I'm telling you, like some boy was trying to talk to me. I said, so.
But you know what's crazy though? Because Park Min-young is my age. And basically he's 8 years younger. So isn't that funny?
There was some boy trying to talk to me who was 7 years younger than me.
No. I'm just saying like the age difference between the actors is 8 years. She
Oh,
could have raised him. Because I raised my brother. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's like a Nuna drama?
I mean, but it isn't because, because he seems older, but all the female characters, every female actress in this drama was born 1986. They're all 39 and all the men are younger.
She's like living her life for others, which is, it's like you talk about like a people pleasing thing. I feel like sometimes people pleasing is a survival mode thing.
Yeah,
because it's like she
didn't have anyone around her. Her dad died, her mom died. She needs to keep people
her
around.
dad died, her mom's gone.
Right. I think she was lonely. So I think she felt like she didn't have many people around her. So how can you keep them around? By keeping them happy.
Right. And so no matter what's happening, you have to keep them happy.
Yeah. So then Jiwon goes home.
Wait.
What?
He wanted to escort her to the door.
Oh, yeah. That was a little weird.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
It's a little thirsty.
Shut up. He wanted
No, he's already at her door. What, he's going to walk her into an apartment complex?
He was going to walk her.
I was like, no, sir, sexy Pujangnim, let's calm down. You've already you called her out on Sunday night.
Full Darcy
You drove her home. You bought her coffee.
Darcy knew.
You got compliments from her. Let her go home.
He has to make sure she gets home safe. Which means she got 2 doors, baby. My house got 1 door. Your house got 2 doors.
It's fine.
I got to get buzzed in.
To me, when a man is trying to go up to your room, you know what that means? Do you want to eat ramen? Like, it's like, do you want to have sex? You know what I mean?
What? You think?
That's a Korean thing for hooking up. Do you want to come and eat ramen? That's what they say. That means like, do you want to hook up?
Thomas's face, he looked at me like, bitch, there's no way you don't know what this means. Yes.
No, he didn't know what that meant. That's why he made that face. He's like, why is she bringing up ramen? So in Korean culture, if you ask someone to come for ramen, that means,
Oh, it's a nightcap.
Yeah.
But he wasn't asking for a night. Walking to the door is a kiss.
He needs... Anyways.
We're
only episode 4, sir. Let's calm down.
He's not going to... Listen, ain't nobody getting, slap, flipped, rubbed down. Ain't nobody doing all of that.
Okay, so Jiwon goes home, right? And then... this is so
Now,
random.
this is the awkward part. Where he just sits up talking and be like, oh, when somebody should date as many people as possible before they get married.
Did they go to this part?
Yes. Because he's standing outside being like, oh, yeah, you should date as many people as possible before you get married.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, what are you talking about? So she calls him a free spirit. And he's like, no.
I forgot about this part. Yes. Why does he say that?
And then he's like, well, marriage isn't the end all, but he believes in it personally. And then he gets
just
all
like,
awkward.
sir, why are you talking?
Stop talking. Get in the car. But
Okay.
but it's all, I think it's to show how much he likes her because it makes her laugh.
It also just shows this guy has no game.
He also has never talked to a woman. You know what's so annoying? We see a tall, like, I wish that I was like one of those women that could like figure out, like, I don't have the...
You don't have the radar for like, you basically what you're saying, you want a guy like this, right? Like you want a good looking guy that's a little awkward. Like you want a nerd.
I want somebody...
Not a nerd, but like a nice guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nice guy where it's just like, oh, it's like you're handsome.
You haven't gotten your hands dirty yet.
But you haven't weaponized it against the population of you haven't weaponized it yet. I need people to be able to make people laugh because there's nothing more than because there's a way you can like laugh at someone with the flirty laugh. I love.
I know.
And they're also, this lets me know that like their chemistry, it's like, oh, y'all because it's like,
it's working. It works.
It's working, but it doesn't feel. Sometimes you see like acting where people are flirting. And you're just like,
but they
looks
genuinely have good chemistry. I think she actually, as an actress, she has chemistry with all of her co-stars. I think it's her. I think it's her because she has acted with top, good looking, real fine men, and she always has really good chemistry. I would say this though. I think I like watching them together because oftentimes a lot of the dramas we watch or a lot of the more traditional rom-coms, K-drama rom-coms, it's always like the two leads fight and they fall in love.
I hate that premise.
But that's a common trope, right?
But that's a common trope
they're
in America
always,
too.
Yeah, they're always fighting. It's like, I hate you, but I love you. I hate you. But this, I really like because it's like kind of more real. Like they're naturally, granted, like it's not that natural because he's setting everything up, but I think they're naturally like...
It's a man putting in work to show the woman that he cares. I approve this message.
Okay. Well, he is showing up everywhere. So, but what I'm saying is I do like the fact that it feels natural. They have chemistry. They're getting along. They like each other.
They're getting to know each other.
Yes, they're getting to know each other. So you're seeing the process of people actually, it's more realistic. They're actually falling in love.
But I think that's why people like these shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're popular among Americans because on our shows, a lot of times you don't see a long falling in love process. You see people go on 3 dates and have sex. That's why I feel like Sex and the City destroyed a generation of women. Truly.
I mean, Sex and the City, if you watch it now, it's just like, I'm like, I cannot believe we watched this.
I can.
I mean, Carrie is hyper problematic as a character.
She was problematic then. The bitch just had nice shoes on.
Now, when you look back on it as an adult, the normal people are... Honestly, to Miranda's character went a little cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs, cuckoo for whatever. But the most normal ones are probably Samantha and Charlotte, in my opinion.
Charlotte, I absolutely understood where she was coming from.
I love Charlotte. Charlotte was my favorite from the beginning. But Carrie, looking back on it, when you watch it, I'm just like, what?
Because I was in a Mr. Big situation.
Carrie
is
selfish.
Also, the fact that white women, because she made that one costume person put her name on a necklace.
Patricia Fields.
And they started. Now, mind you, this necklace had been worn by Black and Latin women
forever.
Yeah. Since what, the 70s, the 80s, maybe?
The nameplate, yep.
The nameplate necklace. Black women and Latinx women have been wearing this necklace for generations. And then as soon as that show came out, I saw it being called the Carrie necklace. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is not what Shaquan didn't.
Shaquan didn't do this for y'all to call it a carry necklace.
Are you serious? Shaquan did not put all that. Shaquan did not put that down payment at that jewelry store in the flea market.
For you to call it a Carrie Bradshaw necklace.
A fucking Carrie necklace.
Did you know? This is a good segue into our segment today.
Ta-ha!
We're going to talk about Nainu. So we're talking about Sexy Pujangnim.
Yeah. He's a silly goose,
You
right?
recognize him. No, don't look at the notes. What other drama do you recognize him from?
I don't. His face looked familiar, but I can't because that little mole he has.
You're going to be upset. That
I'm gonna be
forgot what's.
I'm sure
he's in
it's
2 dramas that you watched.
I'm sure it's in a Seguk. I'm sure.
Oh, he's a taco person.
Because it's not. He had to be the prince then. He had to be a crown prince in something.
He wasn't a crown prince. No,
He's not a second lead.
he was a second lead.
Why would he be a second lead?
So,
Oh my God, it's gonna be okay. Wait, so it's not Moon embracing the sun.
oh no, that was again. This kid is in 31. He's a bebe.
Okay, so it couldn't have been that. Well, cause he wouldn't have been in Mr. Queen. He wouldn't have. Was he in Mr. Queen?
He was a Mr. Queen. He plays the cousin. You're the guy who dies and protects the queen, the gal, the main lady.
There's so many shows in my head.
Yeah. So he was the lead. He was the main. He was a second lead in Mr. Queen.
And he was in Mystic Pop-Up Bar?
Yes.
No.
So Nainu is he was born September 17th, 1994.
Disgusting.
Oh, so he's actually 30 years old. Excuse me, not 31. He's 30. He's 6'2".
Yeah, he better be.
Yes. So his real name is Na Jong-chan. But he goes by Nainu. He lived in Canada, in Winnipeg, when he was little.
So he speaks English.
Kind of. I think he was little, though, part of his childhood. And after he watched one of my favorite dramas of all time, 미안하다 사랑하다, I'm Sorry, I Love You, he decided, from a Korean video rental shop. He watched it from a video rental shop. He caught the acting bug. So when he moved back to Korea, he was scouted by SM, which is a popular Korean, like a famous Korean record label that has all the boy groups. He was picked to audition, but when he needed to dance, he didn't know how to dance, so he clapped instead, and he got rejected as a child. And then he ended up becoming a acting trainee at JYP, which is another company. And then he ended up giving up. He was going to be a singer. He ended up quitting, and then he was very smart at school. He was 6th in his class. He was really smart, which is cool. The dramas he was in, Mystic Pop-Up Bar.
Hotel Management. He was the son on Mystic Pop-Up Bar, wasn't he?
I don't know. I didn't watch that one.
You would like Miss on Pop-Up Bar because
we know your girl's in it.
Yeah, my girl is in it.
And
it was so good.
Right. Okay, and then he was in Mr. Queen, which I remember, when I realized that was him, I was like, holy crap, no wonder I liked him so much. I really liked him in Mr. Queen. I was like, who is this guy? He's like very attractive.
I think I watched Mr. Queen during COVID, so my brain, I watched so much TV during COVID.
And then he was in another drama, River Where the Moon Rises. That one came out, that was a sageuk that was really popular. It's like a KBS sageuk. I didn't watch
tell by
it.
the name.
I didn't watch it, but he came in halfway to replace the lead because the lead, Jisoo, he was another actor who was in a bullying scandal, so they kicked him out of the drama. So
Was he bullying people on set?
Not on set, but like high school bullying allegations. So he got basically exiled from Korean entertainment, and now he's in the Philippines acting. It's crazy.
Okay, what do you have to? Oh, this show is very intense.
Yeah. And then he was in a couple other things in The Marry My Husband. And then the big thing is, where a lot of people know him by, is that he was in the variety show 2 Nights, One Day.
Oh, this is where you found out they're like he was a silly goose.
I sent you the clip, right?
Yeah.
He is wildly silly. It's adorable. Like, they go to his house. The clip I sent you. They decide to show up at his house. He had just moved in. When I tell you, it is a bare bone apartment. You could tell this man is in his late 20s. He has nothing. He literally just had a TV on the floor. He didn't even have a couch. And he was like, oh yeah, just sit on the floor and I eat. And all the cast members are feeling so bad for him, and they show him to.
How long had he been living there though?
He had moved in for a couple months.
I can say when I moved to my apartment in New York, I was also on like I moved in November, and then the next day I think I went on the road, and then it was like I went home for Thanksgiving, and then I was back for like 2 weeks, and I went home for Christmas for most of December, and then I came back, and so I didn't probably get furniture until February, but there was like a month and some change I wasn't even in my apartment.
I think it was just kind of endearing to see him because he's your typical guy. Like to me, I was like, oh my God, he's like my little brother. He had nothing in his house. And then you go to his room, he has a big ass computer where he plays video games and he loves guitar. And of course he like pulls out his guitar.
Well, he is Canadian.
And he's playing the guitar, but he's freaking adorable. He just got back from the army, I believe. So
one of those K-pop bands, a bunch of them boys just got out the army.
BTS, yes, they just got out.
Everyone's
very excited.
How long do they have to do it?
Like 18 months.
Oh, he's gotten awards or recognitions. Oh, best.
He got a Pick Song nomination.
Oh, see, that's the awards we have to go to. So we love him.
He's great. We love him so much. Jiwon goes home then, right? And then,
even though she should have been walked to the door, but whatever.
And then it's so cute because she goes back and Heeyeon left her a little trinket.
Thank God for Heeyeon.
Heeyeon's so cute. So Heeyeon drew her a book, an illustrated book.
Wait, did you see at the end of it where like at one point the little like bear she drew hit his foot on the table and there was like the little lines to show he hit his foot?
It's so cute. It's so cute. So she's basically giving her advice on redecorating her home.
Do you think that that is a nod to the webtoon? Or that just a coincidence?
Maybe. I don't think the webtoon looks like that at all. So like I think it's more just a cutesy tool that they use.
But I do love at the end of it where she says, "Here's, you can do this, you can do this, you can paint, or you can move."
So she plants that seed. So then, oh my God. And then everyone calls again. Soomin calls her. Then Soomin, she doesn't pick up. Then
but Soomin is calling her like she broke up with her.
Yes. Then Soomin texts her, and then, Jiwon texts back being like, we need to talk tomorrow. Let's just talk in person.
Well, she said, I'm not doing this via text. I'm not doing this via call. We need to talk in person.
And then Minhwan calls. She picks up, but then it's Soomin.
Jiwon! And then she hangs up the phone.
It's just like...
Just truly the twins from hell. Just as thing one, thing two.
Bobsy, they're freaks.
Mary, Kate, and Ashley, get off my phone. Like,
Minhwan is texting, be like, oh my gosh, Soomin is crying. You need to talk to her. And she's just like, I'm really glad that you're there. Take care of her for me.
I just told you, let's talk tomorrow. Why did you call me on this man's phone? So they're together while they're doing this.
Yes, they're drinking and they're eating.
But what in the middle school did you just call somebody on somebody else's phone?
It's psychotic. And then Eunho calls her. She picks up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're chatting, right? And he's like, hey, I'm so sorry for being clingy, but like, I really wanted to talk to you. So they're chatting.
He used to wear a ring that represented her for 10 years. So
And then,
of course he does.
And then they kind of get things cleared up a bit, right? Because basically she's confused. She was like, I don't know why you're so happy to see me because you told me last time you never wanted to speak to me again. And he's like, well, that's what I thought you wanted. And she's like, what?
From the letter.
He's like, yeah, I sent you a letter. I confessed to you in a letter. And then you responded back to me, like send a letter back being like, you wanted nothing to do with me. You rejected me. And then she's like, what?
What letter? What letter? She never saw the letter.
And then she's like, can we meet in person? And can you bring that letter?
Because he said he still had it.
He still had it. Of course he has it.
Of course he has it. He has a f***ing ring on. Of course.
It's probably wrinkled. It's creased because he's opened it so many times.
Or it's laminated.
Laminated or has like tear stains on it.
Oh.
God.
So you think her life would be different if she'd ended up with him?
I mean, who knows? I think, yes, she was with someone who truly loved her. But then again, they liked each other in high school. A lot could happen.
One of my friends, him and his wife started dating when they were in the 7th grade.
And they're still together?
And they have 4 kids.
Holy shit, good for them.
They're very happy.
Good. I like that.
The transformation continues.
So Jiwon goes to work. She walks in. She looks very elegant. She has a lovely blouse and a skirt.
You know that, let me tell you something. It's given, and you know my classic rich bitch?
Yeah, it's classic rich bitch look.
Christine Baranski.
Yeah, it's giving Christine Baranski.
It's giving Christine Baranski.
Yes.
Because that lapel,
She looked good.
why?
And it's a very elegant look, right? She looks very like 도도해. So in Korean, 도도해 means like kind of like confident, smart.
It's one of those shirts where you're like, don't make her put a lanyard on that. Oh, don't make her put a lanyard on that, please.
So she walks in. Everyone is blown away by the transformation.
Oh, it's like Wile E. Coyote draw on the floor. I think someone walks into something. Someone can't drink their coffee.
Jihyuk does. So everyone's fawning after her. And Churan, Yang Deri, right? Yang Deri's like, oh, she's like, Jiwon, you look so pretty today. Like you look really good. Your hair suits you. And everyone's like very just like blown away, right? Then Minhwan and Soomin. First, Minhwan is like jaw on the floor. He's like, oh my God, you look so pretty.
Is this my girlfriend?
Yeah, everyone is this. And then Jihyuk walks in without glasses, wearing contacts. He sees her. He's the one who like fucking crashes into a table.
Walks into a table of prepackaged rices.
Falls everywhere. And then did you know this little fucking Soomin bitch is like,
I'll get it
I'm
up.
gonna pick it up. And she's picking it up and he's just like, get the fuck away from me.
He literally puts his hand in her face. She goes to say something. He's like, you look nice. She's like, yeah.
And then he goes up to Jiwon. He goes,
why are you dressed like this?
He's like, it's inappropriate for work. And then Heeyeon's like, what about this outfit is inappropriate? And he's all flustered.
He's like, shirt. And so, but again, Heeyeon speaks up for her.
Uh-huh. And then he goes, well, I think it's because I'm just like flustered, like because I've never seen you like this before. And then she's like, but you saw me last night. And then Minhwan's like,
What do you mean saw you last night? But you saw me yesterday. What?
Then she goes, oh, you're wearing your
Contacts.
contacts. And then Yang Deri, Churan's like, oh, 부장님, you look good without glasses. You look good. And then he gets super flustered again. And he's just like, I can't handle this. And he like runs off.
Oh, this is when she tries to come over and compliment him.
And then he's like, talk to the hand, bitch. Talk to the fucking hand.
Listen, may get very 90s, very episode on a Martin. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
I want to hear it.
I wish that's
Like, girl, talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
What
We
a
used,
wild
we used to
statement.
see that in third grade.
Yes. Could you imagine?
Talk to the hand.
Bro, honestly, I'm surprised more people didn't get slapped. Telling someone to speak to your hand, and it was always the same
You gotta
thing.
like do your little.
You gotta do your head. Yo, I feel like no one's doing this anymore. Like, are the young kids giving us this?
Can we bring that back?
Girl, that'd be crazy.
You're doing it on the internet instead. They comment instead of doing this physically. You know what I mean? They're like, go touch the grass.
Girl, it'd be like hand emoji. Like, don't audibly say hand emoji to me. That's insane. Minhwan is busy. He's fawning over Jiwon. And you really get to see how superficial he is because he keeps trying to touch her. Because I think that's the thing that makes Darcy and him nuts when he walks in.
Yeah.
Because he sees Minhwan trying to touch Jiwon's face, and she's like cringing and trying to pull back, and he's trying to help, but he also can't function.
No one's functioning. Everyone in this fucking office, no one works. So the next scene is they're all on the rooftop and they're like cheering for Minhwan, their colleagues. They're like, congratulations, your girlfriend is so attractive.
But
and I'm like,
men and women.
And they're like, oh my God, you should be careful. You need to become a goalie because guess what? All these men are hitting on her now. And I'm like, what is happening? Oh God, this scene.
So he asked her to come up on the rooftop, and now he's starting to get, like, now you see his aggression come back, and you see his possessiveness come back.
Yes.
So him and Soomin are still in this, like, aggressive place. And so he gets her, like, an iced coffee, and she's being very cute, like, Also, how big is that coffee or how small is she? Because it was big as her whole body.
It's a big coffee.
It's a giant coffee. And then he, in the most awkward way, tries to kiss her.
And it's like she, in the most awkward way, throws
her coffee down his whole crotch.
Did you notice? They're like, she's like laughing in the scene that's cut. They're like laughing because it's so ridiculous. You could just see her grinning.
And then, but I think what really makes her break is he's just like, it's soaking down in my underwear. Like, it's really.
I'm so good wet. And so he like runs off. Then fucking Soomin comes. God. Oh my God.
Because we have to remember, Minhwan was trying to have this conversation with her and was just like, hey, I think Jihyuk likes you. And as a man, I know these things. And she was like, no, he doesn't.
I don't.
And then he tries to kiss her and then she throws coffee on him. And then Soomin pops up. And so she's like, we're not misunderstanding the situation. And she's like, I must have done something wrong.
No, she's literally like, you know how I say things sometimes, like incorrectly. I can be wrong. I make mistakes, And then, Jiwon's just like, you know what? Of course you didn't. I thought about it. At first I was upset. I thought about it. And then I was like, you wouldn't do this to me. And if you did, that'd make you a crazy fucking bitch.
Well,
that part I loved. Sumin's just nodding. And she's like, yeah. I would never do anything like that, right? And then Jiwon's just kind of like, the bullies, like, they're going after you the same way that they went after me. But she's like, but the difference is I'm not going to let it slide this time. I'm going to get to the truth. Right? And she's like, she's going to talk to, and then she tells her, she's like, I'm going to talk to Eunho because I have been in contact with them and we're going to get this all straightened out. Don't worry. So then Soomin is like, okay, sure. But, and then she tries to manipulate the situation. You can see the wheels turning and she's just like, but like, would would your boyfriend be okay with you seeing another man alone?
And he's like, yeah.
He's like, no.
He wouldn't mind.
No, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He trusts me. And then
he's not jealous.
But then Jiwon adds this. She slides this and she goes, Minhwan is doing really well. His stocks he's been killing it in stocks lately. He even told me that I should look forward to our first home.
Oh, our newlywed home.
Yeah. So then Soomin kind of perks up. She goes, oh, really? Okay. So like Jiwon is planting this, right? This information with Soomin so she can start getting her to
marry her husband. Mm-hmm. But we all know that this is not true.
Not true at all. So then we go to Jihyuk and Heeyeon, okay? So they all leave. They're going to work, right? Mm-hmm. This is leaving home from work. They're all leaving early. Mm-hmm. And then this part's so funny. Like,
she's just at a bus stop.
So she had a client meeting.
Yeah, she had a client meeting. Everyone's running around. Meeting. Yeah.
She had to go to a client meeting, but the Jihyuk stops her, right?
Yep.
This part's really interesting. So he's like, I gotta know. Like, I have to understand, like, why are you dressed like this? Are you doing this for someone else? Like, what's going on?
Because I wear contacts for you. Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm dressing for myself.
Yes, I love this part. Yeah.
And it's empowering to control her own narrative, even, if it might be superficial to others. Yeah. And so she tells him, you should style yourself more. Mm-hmm. You should, like, the contacts are great. You're smart. Because she's, like, telling him his smile is nice. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you should maybe, she's looking at, because his suits do seem big.
So then he hears Jiwon, and then he's like, okay, and then he calls someone, right? Somebody. But then Jiwon goes to her client meeting. Mm-hmm. So she's leaving. So she's waiting. She's waiting at the bus stop. And of course, in front of the antique store, she sees Heeyeon, like, screaming. She has a bag. She's so excited. She has a new purchase. She's running around.
And she's like, oh, yeah, because she's dancing. She's going full out.
And then she's about to call her. Jiwon's about to call her. But then
run over to her.
Yes, but then she sees Jihyuk carrying so many bags And she is just like freaking out. She's so happy. She's like, thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah. So like from afar, you think.
Because she's making all this noise and then he pulls his hand around her mouth.
Puts her into like a headlock at one point.
And covers her mouth up.
So they're very intimate, right? They're not intimate, but they're very close.
Yes.
So we don't know what the relationship is, but they know each other.
Because the hand over her mouth.
And he is very comfortable with her.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, a little too comfortable. So
right.
Jiwon sees this. She's just like, oh. So
now,
this.
But she was thinking about him. And he was like, oh, he wore these contacts? Like, she was thinking about him out loud at the bus stop. And then looks over and sees this situation. And she just gets completely deflated.
Which shows that she is interested.
And then she has a flashback because there was a scandal.
Yes, in 2023.
In 2023, I guess right before she died.
Right before she died.
Between the two of them, Heeyeon and Jihyuk, and Heeyeon had to move departments.
Yeah, and it's the person who called it out or called it in was evil. Yeah, evil manager. Yes, Greensleeves. So then Jiwon at this point is like, oh, this makes sense. I was wondering why 부장님 was in my timeline. Like, he and I never interacted in the past, but I understand why he's here now. It's because of Heeyeon. Heeyeon is brought, so she thinks Heeyeon, because Heeyeon and Jihyuk are together. That's why Jihyuk is like hanging around her. Okay, sure, Jiwon. That's what she thinks. But then we go back to Yu and K's, the grandfather's house, right?
Chevo's grandpa.
Right. So then like Heeyeon's there and you can't really tell what situation this is. You don't know if this is like a true, like a relative or it's like a little sister, like, you know, like a romantic interest situation.
Or it's a fiance and she calls him grandpa.
Exactly. So she's just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Jihyuk bought me all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And you could tell the grandfather really likes her, you know, and then Jihyuk drops, you know, and he tells Jihyuk to drop her off, right? To like drop her off safely.
It's like it's the opposite direction.
Right. So then they leave, but then he tells his right-hand person, have you looked into the girl that he likes? So it's kind of like insinuating all this stuff, right?
But when it's like, but I think for me, when she was like, oh, can you take me home? And he's like, you live in the opposite direction. I was like, that's when I realized they weren't dating.
I mean, I kind of knew, but you never know.
You're not sure. But once he was like, you're in the opposite direction, I'm like, no, because he is the type of man who would take you home no matter if you were on the sun.
The scene. This is the moment.
We needed this because she just said, oh, the reason he's in my timeline is because of Heeyeon, and we're friends. And so he's only being nice to me and showing up because this is her man.
알았어요. So then we now go fully into Jihyuk mode. We go into sexy 부장님's like life, okay, which is very exciting. So he calls his friends at the chicken shop. He's like, yo, come out. Let's go work out. So they go and they do judo, right? He's beating the shit out of his friend.
Truly flipped that man like pancakes.
And then he's just like thinking and he's like, I think I'm good enough to teach Jiwon. So he's basically getting ready because Jiwon wanted to take self-defense classes.
Yes.
So he's like, I'm going to teach her. So he was practicing on this poor guy, okay?
Should we take a class where we learn how to flip a man?
I'm okay. Then we go to his apartment. There's a gratuitous shower scene.
I appreciate the fact that he was not wearing a towel in the shower
You don't
scene.
really see him. I was kind of annoyed.
It was his show. It could have been a shoulder double.
Then you see that magically on his left chest, left. It's okay. I'm tired. Left chest.
Why is that you short circuit?
Left chest. A heart in the shape. A blue heart appears.
Like on the money.
Exactly on the money.
I was
Okay.
watching this with my mom and she's like, why you got that tattoo? And I was like, and she goes, oh, don't tell me. We're about to find out. She's like, well, you already seen it. Don't tell me nothing. And I was like, it's perfect. And so he's talking to the cat.
His little kitty cat, Pong.
And he wonders if he should tell Jiwon the truth about how Minhwan and Soomin killed her. He's from the future, and he's been given a second chance to live.
Dun, dun, dun.
And my mother went, what? And I was like, yes, he's from the future.
So then we go flash forward to 2023 in the original timeline.
We're going a lot of places on the top. Like, I'm telling you, Back to the Future 2 didn't move around as much.
It really didn't.
Mm-mm.
It really didn't.
Mm-mm.
So he is at Jiwon's funeral. He finds out because Minhwan gets arrested. Minhwan and Soomin both get arrested.
At the memorial.
Which
is nuts.
Yes. And then Minhwan has the nerve to be like, I didn't do it. It was an accident. Then he goes, the bitch was going to die anyway. Like, it is so fucking bananas.
But I still don't, even watching this entire drama, I still don't understand why they suspected him of murder.
I know. I don't think they ever get down to that.
Thank you. I thought it was me.
No. I don't think they ever explain it. I think they probably did an investigation and they're just like, they probably found out, I would think, that he took out insurance and they're like, suspicious. So then Soomin gets arrested and Soomin was sitting in the corner eating with the bullies, right? So it's this whole thing. And then
why do they think that not him being, I guess because she was at the house. So she was there when it happened.
Yeah.
But how do they know she was there when it happened?
CCTVs, there's ways.
All right, I'll allow it.
So he overhears the bullies are talking amongst themselves and they're all shocked and they're just like, oh my God. Does this mean that like Soomin was cheating or like Minhwan and Soomin were having an affair?
Mm-hmm.
Was this all a lie? Mm-hmm. Poor Jiwon, they're like, we were so mean to her. And that's why they came to the funeral because they felt guilty for like terrorizing her, right?
For years.
And then
because they felt bad at what happened at the reunion 10 years before.
So that's why they were there. And they're like, oh my God, Soomin is crazy. And then Eunho shows up. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, Eunho, sit down. You just missed it. They got arrested. And then, they're just rambling. And they're like, you remember when you dated Soomin or whatever? And then Eunho's like, I never dated Soomin. So everyone's like, and this is how Jihyuk knows everything. Happened, right? So Jihyuk is in the car. Okay.
And he's driving back.
Okay. He's driving back. He sees the cat. Mm-hmm. He swerves. Mm-hmm. He almost hits a car. But then he swerves again. He hits these water median things.
Let me tell you something. Them water median things in a Korean drama, this is a flight of stairs in the 80s.
I just want to say this. He hits the water median and the car flips up.
Man.
From the water median. Do you know I watched the scene 3 times because it was so ridiculous?
To find out how it went up in the air?
There's no way. Why couldn't they? They should just had him crash into a car. That made more sense than his car. You hit 3 water medians and your car flips up.
No, his car should have stopped.
This to me is the equivalent of the boar. The CGI boar. To me, I was like, this is so fucking stupid. This is the most stupidest scene. Like, really?
Because also, in the way that he almost hit that other car, he could have just stopped.
There was no way. He sees a cat. He swerves, almost hits. I'm like, he should just hit someone. He should just hit another car.
The truck should have just hit him.
The truck should have just hit and killed him. So then he dies. But then he magically wakes up, very similar.
April 19th, 23rd. So this was like, what, days after she died?
Yeah, like a day after. He was at the funeral. So he dies during her funeral.
How fast memorial services
I think it was
Korea?
pretty quick. So then
they want to get her out the ground and done.
He magically wakes up and he's like, the heart magically appears and he's like, oh, I'm reborn again. So we're like, dun, dun, dun.
But then the cat's in his house now?
The cat magically came. The cat it's like a magic cat.
Oh, yeah.
In the opening, it's always a cat. It goes, meow, dun, 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 meow. And then the cat walks by. So I think cat's a magic cat.
So if you go back to the beginning, and so now you know why Jihyuk, because you're like, how did he know
to appear everywhere?
To get Eunho to go to the reunion because he was at the funeral. How did he know that Soomin, why is he so protective of her from the very beginning? So knock in because you have to remember, he knows all the shit too.
He knows.
So he knows that the kettle's going to fall on her.
Yeah.
He knows that she's going to hit her knee. He knows all of these things. And so when she's having her spiral and she realizes, so he's watching her realize that she's 10 years but he doesn't know
that she knows.
And he doesn't know that she's gone back in time.
That's what I'm saying. So this is what makes this so fun. So you have these two characters who are from the same timeline, but they don't know that they are in each other's new timelines. Which is, this is why it's fun. It's like, okay.
Because now we have to find out, are they going to find out that they both came back? Because it's interesting, they both get a second chance, but since both of them don't know that the other one has this wealth of knowledge of the past 10 years, now they are getting to get to know each other in a way that they couldn't have before. But it's interesting because so he's trying to make sure that she's not murdered. She's trying to make sure
that she's not
murdered.
Yeah.
And I think also but I don't even think he's trying to get with her. Is he trying to get with her?
Yeah. So I'm realizing, so if you think about it, when my first rewatch, I was like, why is he so upset that she died? I think he's always had feelings for her. So to me, this is both the story. Remember we talked about like going back in time to like erase your regret, right? This is the same thing for him too. He's trying to save he's trying to save her because he loved her. And he also never was able to figure it out with her. He never confessed to her because the entire time current Jiwon has no idea. She's just like, oh, like he would tell me not to wear the earrings. I thought he was being mean. Like she literally just sees him as like her boss. She's never thought more of him.
Well, because he had them glasses on and big ass suit.
I know, and I don't think he ever had the courage to ever like come forward, you know.
But also her whole life is consumed
with Minhwan and Soomin.
With them two idiots, because they're all consuming because all they want to do is control her. So she never had the space to look at anybody else.
I know.
But my question is, we know why she gets to go back. Because she's trying to not be murdered.
Why does he go back is your question, right?
But I think the tattoo on him is the reason you find out why he goes back.
Yeah, he goes back because her dad sent him. Yeah. Right?
The dad sent him because
the dad's like, okay, I'm just going to work some magic from heaven.
Right, because my mother's like, well, what's the tattoo? She's like, well, why is he? She's like, well, when this? It's like, it's from the money. I was like, the dad sent him. Which means it's like, oh, well, obviously, if the dad sent her back, because I do wonder, maybe the car goes airborne and flips because it has to. Maybe dad is, because if he doesn't die, he can't go back.
So that's why the car magically gets airborne and dies?
Because he's supposed to die. That's the only way he can go back. He has to die.
Okay, so we're going to be back next Wednesday for the 5th episode of Marry My Husband. Very exciting stuff. So please be sure to check us out on all the places where you can find our video podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Please leave a review. Please leave a star. Comment, like, do all the things. And our socials. Yeah. We have our lovely little social channels. So please follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube as well. And then if you guys have any comments, questions, emails, thoughts, it's chasingkdramas@gmail.com. We also have a website, chasingkdramas.com. Check us out. It's exciting stuff. And so we will be back next week. We'll see y'all then.
사랑해.
Chasing K-Dramas is hosted and executive produced by Dulcé, Sloan, and me, Chrissy Choi. I edit the audio and video, and our production is led by Thomas Yuen from TY Media and Go Get 'Em Productions. Our artwork is designed by Yice Cream. We're an indie podcast, and we're always looking for fun partnerships. If you're a brand that's interested in sponsoring our chases, or for your fan who just wants to stay in touch, please check out our website at chasingkdramas.com.